Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the virtual open day for IMU. I will be moderating and hosting today's talk. My name is Sharon, the Senior Lecturer for Foundation in Science. And today we are very honored to have Ms. Kanaga Mala with us. Ms. Kanaga Mala is the Program Director of Foundation in Science. Now, today, the title of our talk for this session is Adapting to the Next Normal at IMU and how Foundation in Science is transforming our teaching and learning in Foundation in Science. Maybe before we begin, Ms. Kanaga, would you like to tell us a little bit about the Foundation in Science program in IMU?
Sharon. Okay, let me share my screen so that the audience can see. So before that, good morning. Thank you, Ms. Sharon. And good morning to all those who are present here today for this morning. All right, I hope you can see my sharing session. Can you view, Ms. Sharon?
Yes, we can see.
Yes, okay. I've actually put under the slide share. Is it on the slide share?
It's not on the presentation mode.
Yeah, is it now, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Hello, good morning again. So yes, Foundation in Science in IMU is a one-year program. So our intakes are actually 3 intakes a year. So we have the March or April. So it's actually the timing or the month. Okay, and then July, July, and the other is August. Okay, so actually the September intake, but if it's the end of the month, so it's like on the August intake. Okay, so we had 3 semesters. Semester 1, semester 2, and semester 3 with 5 core subjects. And at semester 3, we actually have the elective subject. Okay, so one advantage of this foundation is actually it's a 50% of continuous assessment and 50% of exam. Okay, so what you mean by continuous assessments is like practical. So whatever practical that students do and they submit, so the marks are actually calculated, and then the assessments, okay, the group projects, the assignments, so everything is marked. Okay, so that is where students actually collect the 50% before their end of semester examination. So that is what we call it as 50% continuous assessment and the 50% of exam. Okay, so up since 2017 and up to now to 2020 lah, okay, when the last intake, there's 85% progression rate. That means our Foundation in Science students actually managed to get into all our degree programs, okay, let it be IMU programs or even the partner track. Okay, so you may ask me what happened to the remaining ones. So some students actually after foundation they've changed their mind. Sometimes they change courses, so that is where the rest goes. All right, so so this is the program structure. Okay, so semester 1 we have chemistry, biology, maths, English, computing studies, which is a project based, and then semester 2 is the chemistry 2, biology 2, maths 2, English for healthcare professionals, physics for health sciences. So if you can see, the modules are actually specifically designed for foundation for them to actually progress into our own UG. Okay, and also partner tracks. Okay, semester 3, this is where it's quite unique. Okay, so we have biology 3, thinking skills, cross-boundary studies. Yes, it is actually the community service where students do the community service to schools and all. And even, yes, that was transformed into online sessions, Ms. Sharon? Yeah, so it was very interesting and students really benefited from that. And then that is where we also have our elective subjects. So if you ask me about electives, these elective modules are specifically designed so that those who can progress into the UG benefit the most. For example, chemistry 3 for those who are doing pharmacy, medicine, okay, biosciences, especially where you learn about diseases. Actually, every healthcare practitioner should know. So our students are really benefiting from that. And then statistics, psychology. So this is our program structure, which is specifically designed so that students can smoothly progress into the undergraduate programs. Okay. So when we talk about the assessment methods, that is what I've also told you that we have 50%, right? So that is where the continuous assessments are the 50%, and that is where we also have the exams oriented. Okay, Ms. Sharon?
Okay, now, Miss Canada,
Yes.
thank you very much for your very detailed explanation on the curriculum structure. Now, I think all of us are maybe perhaps a little curious.
Mhm.
All that you have explained in the earlier slides were for face-to-face teaching. Then
Yes.
how then that these change with the lockdown and the pandemic? How did FIS adapted or changed in the teaching and learning? Maybe you can explain a little bit.
Yes, Ms. Sharon. So that was the biggest challenge that we had lah, from fully face to face, and then everything went online, right? So since the first MCO last March, right? So we had to convert all teaching and learning to fully online. So of course, in the beginning, we had some hiccups, okay, here and there. So we had to, revise some modules and some practical sessions and so on. Thanks to technology. So technology has helped us so much tremendously during the pandemic. Okay, so we managed to successfully actually convert all the teaching and learning with the help of Teams. So we use Microsoft Teams for lectures. So then we got to know that Teams can actually take up to 250 students. Okay, if let's say everything goes on well. Okay, and then we also communicated with students through WhatsApps. Okay, so to ensure that they are always connected, so the lecturers are also there always, try to engage students. So and then lecture and tutorial, so that is the very important section in our teaching and learning, right? So we have large group teaching, which is the lectures, and then we have a smaller group teaching, which is the tutorials. So what happens is in the beginning we started with voice over lectures. So if you are asking me what is voice over lectures, it's when we record the PowerPoint presentation. So in the beginning, all lecturers used to spend hours. Actually, I think I've also experienced that. You have also experienced that. We spend hours, right? So yes, recording the lectures, and then the recorded sessions will be uploaded on the e-learning portal prior to the lecture sessions. So students download the recorded sessions and they listen to the voiceover before they come for the face-to-face classes. Before they come to the online classes, right? So that was what we say. That is what happened. Okay. So yeah, so that is where we slowly, then we had tablet teaching, which is replaced. So all lecturers were actually given tablets. Some used our own, some, yes, the university actually provided us with tablets, so which actually replaced whiteboards to write, especially maths and bio when you need to draw and explain. Yeah, so that is how we converted quickly. Right, Sharon?
Right. Now, we see here, Miss Kanaga, that you have terms like async and sync.
Yes.
What is the meaning of async and what is sync?
Okay, so async is actually like what I explained to you earlier, where we have the voice over lectures, students download and they listen during their free time. Okay, that can be after class or even during class. We usually have the async sessions for them timetabled. So they use that session to listen to the recorded lecture. And then, so that will be like async will be, the attendance will not be taken into consideration because they're spending their own time to actually listen to the lecture. And then the sync session is where students actually join the lecturers for the Q&A session. So that is where attendance is taken. The lecturer is there to explain every queries from the student. So that is what we say, sync and async sessions. I hope
Okay.
I'm clear.
Now, you mentioned something very interesting, the recordings. Are students able to view these recordings or, the recorded voiceover PowerPoint or are the students able to view these even after classes? Or is it during a specific time that they must view these recordings?
Okay. So actually, that's a very, very interesting question. Okay, so one of the advantage, our greatest advantage of using this online platform, especially these Teams, is where we are able to record the entire session. So this is actually a picture. Can you see the picture there, right? So this is actually Dr. James, our director. He's actually away now, so that is why I'm conducting this session actually. Okay, so here this is exactly what we do. Okay, we have lecture notes on Teams and then tablets for writing and then Padlet. So the lecturer actually use Padlet for Q&A. Okay, so all these sessions are actually recorded. Okay, so on Teams, we can record sessions, even meetings are recorded, lectures are recorded, tutorials are recorded. So the entire sessions are recorded. So students can actually view these recordings even on the Teams, or even when the lecturers actually upload this on e-learning portal. So this slide is actually an example of how the lecture sessions are uploaded on the e-learning portal. So on my left here, you can see this is where it's recorded on the e-learning portal. So they can actually choose which they have missed, or sometimes students may be absent due to illness, right? So they can actually go back and view the recording. So this is on my right here is actually all the recordings on Teams. Okay, so that is where they are able to view. So actually this has been the greatest advantage, okay, of online learning, where you don't get it during face-to-face actually, right? So yeah, student has benefited with this. Yeah.
So it would mean that even if the students have got poor Wi-Fi connectivity during that time, they would still be able to view the recordings and not miss out on classes, right?
Yes, thank you for highlighting that, Ms. Sharon. So what happens is sometimes we have students from international students, right, with different time zone. So sometimes when our classes are in the mornings, for them it is probably late night or even 3 a.m. or 2 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. We had that issue. So these students has also benefited. So when they miss the sessions, okay, due to time zone difference, they can actually go back and view the recordings. Okay, so that has benefited our international students, not only our local students. Yeah, correct.
We have two questions here, which I feel is very relevant to what you are explaining
Yeah,
right
sure.
now. So Fanny asked,
Mhm.
do you know how many students are there in each class?
Okay. For lectures, we have a large group teaching, because large group teaching is very important, because if you see foundation in science is actually transition period for students, right? So they need to adapt to undergraduate teaching, where you have more than 200 students in a group. So that is where our lectures are usually larger. It's probably more than 100, sometimes 120. But if we have more than 200 students, we will have 2 lectures. That means we have 100 in one group and 100 in the other group, right? Okay, so that is how large our large group teaching is. And when we have small group teaching for online, yes, so we can have maximum of 50 in a tutorial session. Okay, and then we have few groups of the tutorials. So that is our number.
Okay.
Yes.
There is another question here pertaining assessment.
Yes. Okay.
Mailing asks,
Mhm.
the exams are supposed to be done in 24 hours time, or they have a set time for it?
Okay, I think that we will come to assessments after this. Can I answer during that?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So be better for me to show examples.
Okay. Right
Mhm.
now then, what about practicals? I
Hmm.
understand that subjects like bio and chemistry, you have practicals. And how has that changed from a face-to-face practical now that with the pandemic, students are not able to go to the labs?
Yes, so actually, a very good question about practicals. So you'll be thinking, how can we do practicals online? Okay, so yes, we managed to do that. So yeah, since in the beginning it was a bit difficult, or we had to cancel some sessions and so on. But as time went, okay, what we did is we used similar YouTube videos to demonstrate our practical sessions, because all the practicals that we do in foundation in science are very, very relevant from what is done outside actually, when you do about viewing of microorganisms, okay, slide, how to use the microscopes, okay, and then about enzymes. So then we used YouTube videos. So once when the lecturers were able to go to the campus, so that is where we arranged for recording. So each practical sessions, for example, let's say I just take for biology for an example. So in biology 1, we have 5 practical sessions. Okay, so for each practical, so what we did is we recorded the entire session. okay, from the beginning to the end, showing each step how the practical session should be conducted and so on. So these videos are uploaded on the e-learning portal, okay, so that students can view them. And the manuals are also uploaded prior to the classes. So usually it's in the beginning of the semesters, all these materials will be already available on the e-learning portal. So students can take their own time to view, to prepare, source for information. So during that practical session, for example, let's say the Monday, they have a practical, so students will join Teams. So on Teams, the lecturer will brief them again on the steps, what are the importance of each steps and so on. And then that's where we will give students reports to write and fill up, and then questions to answer based on what they have got from the online practical sessions. Okay, so that is what we do. All right. And I can also show you, I have some interesting pictures here to show. So here on my left is our lab demonstrator. Miss being a very experienced lab demonstrator since the beginning. I think Sharon, you should know her since the pioneer. Yeah, she's here all the while. So she has also been progressing from the face-to-face to online. So she's been helping us a lot with the recording. So this is Miss Saras, one of our biology lecturer. Okay, so that's where, this is with the help of IT. So we recorded each and every practical session. Okay, and then here on my right is where students are actually conducting the practical sessions during MCO, actually, when they could come back to campus. So with social distancing, so you can see each bench, there's only one. So that is where we ask students to actually fill up a survey so that we can actually arrange accordingly. Okay, so this is one good example of how our practical session. So for you may ask me what happens to those who actually selected the fully online sessions, or those who are international students, right? Okay, so these students will actually these sessions will be actually shown live. Okay, we have camera, 360-degree camera, we call it. So these students will actually view them live on how they actually do these practicals. Yeah. So at the same time, they will be able.
Mixed mode, like we have
Yes.
some it's
Yes.
some that's on, like, so it's kind of mixed mode, right?
Mixed mode, yes. So that is what. So they have benefited. Yeah. So when we get the feedback from students, they have really benefited from these initiatives from the lecturers. Okay, and then this is an example to show you. So this practical, the recording, we can see this is a chemistry practical. This is a biology detection of reducing sugar, and also all this step by step is actually uploaded on the e-learning portal for students to view. Okay, so even though if they're missing, so they can still see what is done at each step, very clear with explanation. Yeah. Okay, Sharon, I hope it helped.
Okay. Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so I think then maybe we can go on to how exams and assessment now takes place online.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure. So what happens, like I told you, assessments and all, yes, so we do it on Teams, like group presentation and group discussion. So we do it on Teams. I think the English team has done a tremendous job with grouping. Maybe if you want to give your feedback based on that, since you are, that's your background, Ms. Sharon, do you want to share how do you do presentations?
Actually, on Teams, where the platform that we use, which is Teams, there is this thing called the breakout rooms, just
Okay.
like Zoom. So for tutorial, small group teaching and presentations, where it's a small group presentation, we actually break the students up into breakout rooms, where they are able to interact with one another. Yeah. So, for most of our English classes is actually video on, camera on, mic, so students have to act to really participate, just like in a face-to-face class where they have their cameras and
Okay.
their mics and all that. Yeah,
So how was the participation so far?
pretty good actually. The students enjoy the breakout rooms very much.
Okay.
They feel that it's not one-way watching. They have the chance to interact with friends, and so we have friends from Saudi Arabia, South Africa. So this intercultural group discussion during English classes is pretty interesting as well.
Okay, so thank you for sharing actually. So that's why I thought English will be a very good example. Okay, so that is what we do for presentation. So that is where marks are taken also, right, Sharon, for group discussion and presentation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So that is how we do it online. So it doesn't matter if we cannot come, we cannot do face to face, we can still do it online. So that is how it has been progressed. So you may ask me about exams. Yes. So exams has been fully online as well. Okay. Since exams, high stake examination. Okay, so high stake means it's important, and a year-end examination or even the CAL test and all. So that is what we do. It is also online. So what happens is students will need to log into Zoom. Okay, so and they will be required to actually have a phone to show their screen and when they're doing exam. So it's actually fully proctored exam. So we will have proctors who are actually monitoring the students during the exam. So each proctor will actually have 15 students, 15 to 20 students to look on the through the Zoom. So these sessions are also recorded. Okay, so that we know if there's any misconduct or there's any issues. So let's say students have connection issues, they can't connect, so we can actually help them during that time or give them extra time, because the entire exams are conducted on the exam portal, which we call it as OS system, right? So yeah, everything has been running smoothly actually until now with the Protoc exams. Yes.
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay. Now, because this is very remote lah, huh? And
Yeah.
the lecturers are not on campus. So what happens when students are unsure of certain concepts? I think back then, they can just come and knock on the doors at the
Yeah.
staff room. So how do students now reach out to lecturers if they, have got clarifications or there are questions which they want to ask?
Okay, so yeah, lecturers actually diversified on many ways on how to reach students. Like you see, our maths team, they are very, very creative. Okay, even our bio team, chem team. So one of the method that we use is Padlet. So the ones that I'm showing you on the screen is actually a Padlet. Okay, so these Padlets are created by the lecturers. So it's like for each lecturer, we will have our Padlet. Okay, so where students can actually post questions anonymously. So what happens is some students prefer actually Teams message. So they will message the lecturer after lectures or during their revision time. So if they have any queries, some of them are not shy to actually directly message the lecturers. But we have some students who are very shy. Okay, so they're afraid of asking the wrong question. Actually, there's no wrong question. So they are very afraid of asking the wrong questions. So for them, for those who are shy, that is where Padlet has actually greatly helped them. So as you can see here, they can just post any questions on the Padlets, and we will actually answer. We will guide. Sometimes if the answers are very direct, so that is what we guide them on how to get the answers. So sometimes we explain to them what are the answers. So this is where Padlet has helped. And then I think we have also used multiple Kahoot quizzes. I think, Sharon, do you remember the Kahoot quiz competition with prizes and all? So that was to engage or to break the ice and engage with students, especially the newcomers, right? In the semester one. So that was very interactive. And then our math stream has also used Facebook interactive teaching. I think if you remember, yes, so where they did Facebook, and yeah, it was very it has received a lot of good comments and very interactive. Yes, so this is what we have been doing, okay, for teaching and learning.
Hmm. Okay. There is one question here, Miss Kanaga.
Yes.
Mailing us, are lab coats provided or do they buy it themselves?
Okay, yes, lab coats are provided by IMU because we need the IMU logo since we're an IMU student. Okay, but you have a sibling who has been with us and you have the lab coat, sure, definitely you can use the IMU lab coat. So what happens is now, since you cannot come back to campus, since you only come during the face-to-face sessions, right, during the dual mode, so you can actually collect that when you come to campus from the student services hub, and the goggles you can buy from them. Yes. So you need the lab coat only from IMU lab coat. Yes.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we will go on with the next question first.
Yes.
Then answers. There are a few more in the Q&A. So,
Right.
Miss Kanaga, we have had, the pandemic for more than 1 year, 1.5.
Yes.
Um, is there any difference in your opinion in the students' results between the two modes of learning?
Yes. Okay, I think this is a $1,000,000 question. So most parents are very worried, right, about the students, their kids' progress and how students been doing. So we were actually initially very worried as well because all our students has been doing well and progressed to UG. I mean, UG means undergraduate programs, okay, without any hiccups and so on. So we were very worried. So what happened? So that is where we did a comparison of the CGPA. Okay, so before the MCO, that means where students come back for all fully online sessions, and we compared the CGPA from 2019 cohorts, right? That is where since the MCO, that means the 219, the 320 cohorts, 319 cohorts, 120, 121, right? For all these cohorts, okay, so that is where we compared. So, and we were very satisfied, Ms. Sharon, that the average CGPA showed a similar average. Okay, so there was no drastic decline or drastic increase in the CGPA. So that actually, which means the online teaching has been going very well, smoothly, well received by students. Okay, so that is what actually, Ms. Sharon, you can actually share. Audience, Ms. Sharon was the previous program director. She was the pioneer for FIS since 2014 up to 2018 end. She was the program director and she's been seeing progress of students face to face. Probably, Sharon, you can also share what difference did you see from your time up to now online learning? Yes.
Mm,
Very interesting. Yeah.
Actually, if you ask me what's the difference back then and now, I feel that now with the Teams platform and WhatsApps, right,
Mm-hmm.
students are able to reach out to us easier
Mm-hmm.
compared to last time. You know, last time they have to come to our office, make an appointment, to ask questions or to see.
Exactly.
Yeah, but now it's like so the students honestly they treat the teams like a WhatsApp message
Oh,
kind of.
yes.
So I would probably be getting students, Miss Sharon, help me, that kind of question at 11 p.m.
Yes, yes, yes.
So they are able to reach out to us, kind of almost like 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think it's an easier platform for the children, for
Exactly.
the students as well, and they wouldn't feel shy because it's a very, just like I said, it's very WhatsApp each kind of concept, on Microsoft Teams where they can leave us a message. So there's nothing to feel shy about,
Mm-hmm.
compared to having to walk to the office
Oh,
and
yes. You know, the initiative need to take to make appointments.
so they have nothing to lose,
Yes.
with just dropping us a message and then we
True.
reply or we
Yeah.
respond when we can. Yeah, so I think this online thing has benefited the students very much.
Yeah, so if, for those who are not shy, they use the Teams. The others, they can also use other platforms like Padlet and all, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. So thank you, Sharon, for sharing. So yes, so this has actually benefited the students, lah. Okay, so when you talk about this online and how we calibrated, so actually we need to, okay, in a way, thank the pandemic because we managed to transform the teaching and learning also because we discovered so many different methods of engaging with students. Yeah. So in a way, yes. Okay. So yeah.
Okay. So what kind of support are given to students, now that it's all online? Do they, so if we have a student all the way from Sabah and Sarawak, are they, all the way there standalone,
Mhm.
or are they given any form of support?
Okay, so again, this is very, very important as well as student support, student lecturer support. So what happens is, yes, we have this mentor-mentee program. I think it was started off, I think, during your time, right, Sharon? For those days, we have, since then, we have really strengthened the mentor-mentee support. So for parents who are wondering what you mean by mentor-mentee, so every time there's new intakes from the new students, so each student will be designated to a lecturer who's the mentor. So the lecturer will be the mentor for the entire 3 semesters, right? Okay, so the mentor will be there to all the assessment results will come to the mentor. So or even the exam results will come to the mentor. So after the first assessment, every information of the student will actually be available to the mentor. For example, the background, what the students did by the O levels or SPM, how was their score, you know, so that and also what is their UG choice, that means what is the undergraduate choice, right? So that the mentor will be able to track the progress of each of their mentees, each of the students. Okay, so that will this has been actually much strengthened during this MCO. Okay, so the mentors and students, I've seen that they really come to the mentors for support. Yeah, so I've also got messages at night, midnights. Okay, so means I'm so scared, I'm so nervous, you know, the exams are coming, but I'm unprepared. So even the international students can actually buzz us any time of the day if they have any issues. Okay, we have students from Afghanistan, one of my mentee lah. Okay, she had some unfortunate events, and then how we actually could support her mentally and physically. Okay, so I think Sharon's also a part of the super mentors. Okay, yeah, so for those who cannot handle, so that is where we also have super mentors to help assist the younger lecturers, the junior ones, to handle some issues. Okay, so this is what we do. Okay, so and then we also always monitor their mental health. We will just ping them at time. Hey, are you okay? Are you following up? You know, is there any issues? So sometimes students don't come to us directly if we don't, you know, nudge them, right? So we have to do our part as well. So that was the mentor mentee. And then we have this counseling session. So FIS has a designated counselor now from IMU self-development unit. Okay, so we provide all these additional support. So if let's say actually when you say about this counseling and support from it's nothing, you don't have to worry, it's nothing wrong actually going for a counseling. Sometimes I think we adults have stress.
Yeah.
We find it hard to manage stress at times. I think we do break down, right? Can you imagine younger students, and you know, now with the online learning and all? So that is where we have this additional pastoral care. If the mentor is not able to, you know, advise them and it's beyond their capability, that is where we can actually assist or channel them to the counseling. Actually, this has helped, especially now in the pandemic, during this pandemic, where some students get really stressed because they're not used to. Okay, some are so you know, like they are just stuck in the house in front of the PC. You know, the stress levels increase. They cannot communicate with the colleagues, you know, their friends, their batchmates. So this has actually caused some issues, but yes, we have handled them very well actually. Yeah, with all this extra pastoral care and so on. Okay, yeah. All
Okay.
right.
There are quite a number of questions here. Maybe you can address them.
Yeah.
Uh, I think we have had some students who joined us much later after the introduction.
Ah,
There's one question that asks, how long does the foundation course last, and
okay.
what subjects do you need,
Mhm.
and what are the grade required to apply for the foundation in science in IMU?
Okay. So the foundation in science is a 1-year program, so it is a 3 semester. Okay, so each semesters will go up to 14 weeks, right? 14 weeks and 2 weeks of holiday, right? Yes, a vacation week. Yes, so that is a foundation. So if you start this March, you will be completing the next year March. So the actually the timeline is for you to progress into your respective undergraduate programs. That is how our academic calendar is arranged. So if you finish this September August intake, you'll be able to join the next year undergraduate September intake, right, Sharon? Okay, so that is how we have actually designed the academic calendar. Okay, so it's a 1-year program. So what was the next question, please? Sorry.
What are the subjects required in order to enroll into FIS? So I think it would be the SPM or the IG subject.
Ah, yes. Okay, SPM, IGCE. So, actually, the subjects, yes. So, if we want the science subjects, right? So, it's actually the 5 credits. Okay, minimum of the 5 credits, but you have to understand that actually later I think maybe marketing or admissions can share the brochures here. Okay, so all the information is in the brochure. So it depends. If you want to do medicine, you need the 5 Bs. Okay, so if you want to do dentistry, you need the 5 Bs in the in maths and maths, right? Chemistry, physics. Okay, so they have these specific requirements. Okay, so yeah, so that is the requirement. Yes.
Okay, maybe let me get into the chat and I will share it.
Yeah. So do I have it here? I see. Maybe I do have it as well to show.
Okay, I have it. All right. Yep.
Okay. It's
All
not
right. The
right.
other question, Miss Kanaga, is
Yes.
that can they study in the other universities by using the FIS results from IMU?
Actually, FIS results are,
Recognize.
recognized, yes. Okay, but again, it also depends on the specific university. I think our students has progressed, right? Miss Sharon to Nila University, yeah, Sunway, and other universities. But again, it also depends on the specific university itself, lah. Okay, based on their requirement. But yes, it is recognized elsewhere. Okay.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
there's another one. I
Mhm.
think there are quite a number that ask about scholarship.
Ah,
Yeah, so there was one question just now that asked whether with 4 A's are there any scholarship, and then another one that asked with 8 A's from IG is there any scholarship, and now there is one more. Is there any scholarship for UEC students?
okay, so yes, for FIS, yes, so it depends on the each intake, right? So yes, we do have scholarships and bursary. So scholarships is per how many A's that they get, right, from SPM and O levels. So I think for this, because I did, the slides are not here for me to show on the scholarships and bursary, but yes, okay, so probably students can actually visit a virtual open day. Okay, so for more information on the scholarships and bursaries, okay, so you can actually scan this, okay, and talk to the personnel in charge for more information on scholarships.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting, but are students are students able to apply for the FIS program using mock test results?
Yes, at the moment, mock test, that means your SPM, yes, because we did accept earlier, right? SPM for this year, for 2021, the SPM results was delayed, right? So yes, we did accept the mock exam, or that means the trial exams. Yes, but again, you once you obtain your actual results, so it depends on the requirement that is needed. For example, if you need to go for medicine, that's requirement and all, right? So yes, we did use, yeah.
Okay, Alia asks, when is the last date of enrollment and when will classes start?
For the September intake, she means?
Yeah, I
So,
guess.
okay, so
Uh,
the orientation, the enrollment week will be on the 30th of August. So usually it's up 2 weeks. So we give a time of 2 weeks after the enrollment week. That means the first week of September. Yeah, so it's up to, let me check the calendar again. Yeah, it should be up to 7th of September.
hmm,
Yeah. So yes, you can still register, enroll.
Okay. Here's another question. Do all three science subjects have to be Bs? What if you have two Bs and one C?
For if you do not meet the requirement, so what our students do is, yes, they can enroll, okay, but the students will actually resit their SPM
Yeah.
paper. So they will register with the Kementerian to resit the SPM paper. For example, let's say you did not meet the requirement of B for your chemistry. For example, in SPM, you got a C. So you can actually do the resit. And once the resit results is out and you obtain the required grade, and then yes, you can progress into your required UG. Okay, so yes, it's possible to do the resit.
Okay.
Mhm.
What about this one? It's quite interesting.
Okay.
Is studying in IMU like learning some foundation in science?
Yeah, it is foundation in science. FIS is foundation in science. So we are very, even though we are very science oriented, of course, we are all rounder lah. Okay, that's where they have CBS. We have, of course, English for communication and all. Yes. Okay, so yes, it's very science. It's like foundation in science. Yes,
Yeah.
but we also, what do you say, mold students as to become an all rounder.
I think coming back to the 2Bs, 1C
Yeah.
question, Kana,
Mhm.
it also depends on what degree program
Yes.
they
What
want to
degree exactly? So
So
you
for
need.
medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy degrees, they definitely need you to have your SPM 3Bs.
Yes.
But if you are not planning to do medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy, then 2Bs and 1C
Yes.
is actually good enough
Yes.
for the other programs like biomedical science,
Right.
pharmaceutical chemistry, Chiro, and all that.
Correct.
So, to the student who asked that, it depends on what degree program you
Yes.
want to do.
Correct.
You may not necessarily need to do the SPM receipt, huh?
Exactly.
Mm. Okay, this one I can help you answer, Miss Kana.
Yeah.
Student asked, can we use the SPM 1119 result for local
Okay.
units,
Yes.
or do we need to sit for MOET again?
Okay.
Um, so students, the SPM level is at the SPM level, the MOET level is at the higher level. So you are not able to use your SPM 1119 results for something that is of a higher level. So you still need to sit for the MOET and or the IELTS.
Mm.
Earlier on, I actually answered one question whether they need to take IELTS and MOET or MOET.
Yeah.
So IELTS is for those of you who wish to pursue your degree on partner tracks overseas.
Mhm.
If you're planning to complete your degree locally, the MOET is good enough. And it is an entry requirement for the degree program, not foundation. So you can do it during foundation or towards the end of foundation. And the other question they asked was whether IMU will register for them.
Mhm.
No, the MOET and IELTS registration is on your own. So you can actually go and Google MOET registration, and then it will lead you to the Majelis Peperiksaan Malaysia website, and then there will be steps to how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also MOET on demand, right? Can you explain a bit on MOET on demand for those
I'm
who
not very familiar with MOET on demand. I think it's a faster track.
faster track? Yeah. The results are also faster, I think, within
Yes.
2 months, something like that, like 1.5 months to 2 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Quite a number of questions are coming in.
Okay.
Please study foundation in another university and enroll in IMU degree.
Can. Yes, so we do accept other foundation or even STPM, yes, matriculation. So it depends on the student. So it all depends on your entry requirements there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. There's one question that asks, who do I contact for enrollment? For the student who asked this, I think our colleague, Miss Suyin, has put in the link for you to do your application. I think.
okay,
Go.
and then you can also use this virtual open day to
Yes.
talk to our admission staffs.
This
Okay.
student asks, is it too late if they want to apply for the August-September
Oh,
intake?
can. It's still open. It's still open because even the O levels results were just released last Friday, right? So yes, it's still open. We are enrolling students at the moment for August, September. You can still do it.
This one, the student says that he or she took IGCSE and has got a C for physics, but B for chemistry and bio. Looking into biomedical science, is that okay?
Yes, should be okay. If you have the minimum, I think she already has the minimum. Yeah.
It meets, right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, this one asks if they would like to apply for scholarship, is A minus or A plus counted as A? I think A minus is A minus, is
Yeah.
not A, right?
Yes. Yes.
Our scholarship brochure, A minus is
Yeah.
A. Yeah.
So they have to have the specific whether it's A or A minus. That is how we see it, right? How many A's and how many A minus. Right.
Okay. Now, this one is again about the using the trial results, yeah, Miss Kana. She plans to enroll into next year's March
Okay.
2022, but due to the pandemic, the SPM has been postponed to
Yes.
March. So
Mhm.
can they use the trial results and enroll into the March intake?
Yes, can. Okay, you can still use your trial results, but keep in mind on what you are applying. For example, your actual result should meet the requirement that's needed for the respective program that you are applying. For example, like Ms. Sharon has said, if you're applying for medicine, you have to have the 5Bs. Okay, if you're applying for dentistry, you have to have the 5Bs. For pharmacy is the same, the 5Bs. But for other programs, if you do not meet the requirements of 5Bs for medicine, you can still stay in IMU and opt for the other UG programs which do not need that 5Bs, right? Okay, yes, but you can still use your SPM trial results, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. This question came in. This program has an e-certificate. I think we are giving out physical hard copy certificate,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's
It will
not.
be, it will be posted to students now because last time students can actually collect, but now because during the pandemics, we are posting the certs to students, yeah.
Okay. I think this is a question for marketing, but we will take note.
Yeah,
It says that admissions open on the weekends. This person has emailed his application form for August intake but hasn't received any replies. Maybe you can PM us your name.
yeah.
We can
Mhm.
follow up for you, yeah.
Mhm.
And then
I
s-
think the last question.
the last question, yes,
Mhm.
contact number for admission so that they can discuss further. I suggest that you go to the open day
Yeah,
channel where our counselors and the lecturers are on standby to receive
yes.
your questions. The link is given in the chat.
Mhm.
So those of you who still have questions which we did not or couldn't manage to address, uh,
Mhm.
can I encourage you to join us in our virtual open day? We have a very large team of
Yes,
colleagues standing on standby to receive your queries.
it is, yes. So to guide you further. Yep.
Yeah. I think time is running out and
Yes, time running out.
the
So
session coming up already. So
yes.
for those of you who we have not been able to answer your questions, please go on to the Open Day platform so that your questions will be answered over there. Um, I'm wrapping up the session for today. Thank you so much for joining us in the last 45 minutes. Thank you, Ms. Kanaga, for enlightening
Sharon.
us with how the program works and how we have changed during the pandemic. And thank you for all those of you who have asked us questions, which were very, very good questions. All right, with
Thank
that,
you, everyone. Thank you.
yeah, with that, we end the session for today. Thank you, everyone. All the best, and we hope to see you.
Yeah. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you.